Everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be starting another campaign for Total War Warhammer. I'm the Strategy Professor, and this is something that's been highly requested as the Steel Faith Overhaul mod on Legendary. We're going to be doing the Von Karsteins here. I'm going to start with Isabella. So let's go ahead and get in here. Now this changes a lot about the game, and I'll talk about it as we get in there. It seems like it's a much more difficult game than the base game is. The base game is pretty hard if you play it on Legendary, as long as you didn't exploit auto-resolve or anything like that. Auto-resolve, assassinating lords, multi-sacking towns, you know, all the usual ways to exploit. So this looks like a really good mod, so thank you to everybody who's been recommending this for me. Let's go ahead and get in here.
Vlad von Karstein.
So Vlad is a stronger attacker, and you get plus 15 to melee attack and defense, and you get these units, which are ridiculous early on in the game. I mean, they're so good, it's just disgusting. So I'm going to be going with Isabella. I think she's a harder start. She does give your vampires plus 20% weapon damage, which is really nice. Hero or vampire capacity plus 1, which is also pretty nice. So it's pretty good stuff, but I think she's a little bit more difficult to play with. So that's why I'm going to start for her. We're going maximum difficulty here. Legendary, of course. Let's go ahead and get in here. Because I think she has a harder start than he does, because she doesn't get the Blood Knights. Now I'm going to go ahead and fight the first fight before I explain a lot, because I just tried it. I won the first fight, but it was Pyrrhic, and I think I could have done it a lot better.
Hail to you, oh cold
An episode that's never going to show up here when I was just kind of learning the ins and outs of the new combat.
In Castle Drakenhof.
But there are a lot of changes. But I'm going to go over it and just make sure that I win this first fight before I spend, you know, an additional 15 or 20 minutes talking about all the changes. Okay, so we're going for Castle Drakenhof, like right off the bat. I'm going to dash to right about here.
Into darkness.
We're going to hire stuff out of his territory before he hires it on his turn. So we're going to punk him, take a lot of his raised dead.
Undeath Ascendant.
We put both vampires with her. They get plus 20% combat damage, which is really nice. So we're going to have a lot of those throughout the campaign, and they are very powerful, so that's a pretty good bonus later on. It's just a tougher start position, I believe. It doesn't say they had that extra damage. Is it only when they're with her? It sounded like it was faction-wide, but maybe it just doesn't show it in the tooltips. No, I guess it is just with her. Can I not fit? I guess there's not quite enough room. I guess it is just with her. All vampire here. I mean, it says for everybody. Either way, it's fine. That's who I want to start with. Okay, we'll go over the buildings and everything in a little bit. We're going to go for the money. Cheapest money building we can get to start with. We raise dead. We're going to go for this tech, which is unspeakable. I would never, ever recommend to do that in the past, but we'll talk about it after the first battle, why I'm doing it. I just want to make sure that I win this battle with Templehof right off the bat. Okay, it's all good. It's all good. We could try to confederate with Vlad, or with Manfred, but I'm not going to do a non-aggression with him. We'll just beat it out of him. They're going to sack that. So this is July 23rd. This is the newest Steel Faith. I can hire Vlad. I'm not going to hire Vlad yet because he's very expensive and we just can't afford him right now. We'll get him here in a second.
His lady.
Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll pop right here. Onto their province. We'll hire more. Remember, each province has their own undead that you can hire. Now, don't ever do anything for free if someone will pay you for it. Just a good lesson for most games. Some people would say in life, but I would say that doing stuff for free for good reason in life
shall be destroyed.
can be good. Okay, so payments. We'll see if we can get 1,000 out of him for declaring war with a common enemy. Yep, we'll do it. Picked up a quick 1,000 here. That should keep us afloat. Vampire counts historically have a really hard time with economy, especially early. Their economic buildings are garbage, and they can't trade with anybody because everyone hates them. So we might as well get these two things, I suppose.
No mercy. Now, dance, macabre. Attack.
And he's probably going to come at me with 2 armies plus that this right here in a second, and that's going to make for a really tough fight. The fights seem a lot harder, at least your level 1 fight. See, I guess it's about the same as the original, but I don't know. I just underestimated. There are different aspects to it that I needed to take into account. We could trade with Zufbar.
As long as I am Lord.
No, no one ever trades with you. They all hate you. Okay, let's go ahead and get down to business here. I think they'll still try to step up. We'll see. Fight us. Yeah. Alright, let's do this. So, we have 3 different kinds of magic. We have Spirit Leech, we have Miasma, and we have Nehek. Now, Nehek is a lot more expensive. It used to only be like 8, I believe, and when you overcast it, it was like 12 in the vanilla game. That's the like area of effect regeneration that you can get. It also used to be 30 range, or 40 range rather. Now it's 30, and it costs like 25% more. So, a lot more expensive, but it's still pretty good. We'll probably use that primarily. Miasma is still pretty good also. I think they lowered the healing on Nehek also. So you can't just spam Nehek every fight now. Vampires can't get it either. Only Isabella. Vampire Lords might be able to get it. But Vampires proper can't get it, I don't think. Maybe they... I guess Vampires proper couldn't get it in the original game either. It was just Vampire Lords. Vampires proper could only get Magic of Death, and now they can get Shadow as well. Anyways, okay, let's get in here. So, whichever reinforcements are coming in that we can pick off, we're going to pick them off. Need to spread out our poisoners. Get our vampires to gang up on their lord and put her curse on the lord so that he won't hit anybody. And typically I don't focus out lords, but it's pretty important in this fight to do that. Okay, it's going to be harder to focus them out here. You can get up to 50 instead of 30 here as well. It's important to know. I'll take 36, excuse me. Last time I was able to focus out some other people a little bit more. Now they're all going to be over here, so it's going to be a lot harder. I think they have large. I don't think so. They might have some knights or something, but I doubt it. Okay, whatever. We'll just put these into here. Actually, right here. Kill the main force before the reinforcements get there. Usually I like to cut off... Actually, I don't know where to go. Usually I like to cut off reinforcements, but... Let's get down here. We Could send some zombies to tie up the reinforcements maybe for a little bit. That might be a decent idea. Send the core army over here. The AI seems to be a lot smarter too, just in general. Pretty slow. We need to get everyone together and just try to see how much we can pick off. And these girls move pretty fast.
I got at once. Noble of the night. I hunger.
Get their attention, so hopefully they come over here and mess with me. Yeah, sure. I mean, if zombies can hold off their entire force for a little while, I'm down with that.
Vampire. It is done.
Alright, they're done. You're here, get these guys. Where's their lord? This guy. Okay. Yeah, this stack of zombies has really, really holding them off for a while. I was just saying how much smarter the AI is, and in some ways they are, but I guess in some ways maybe they aren't. A nice charge in there. Alright, good hit. Get out. Charge them in the back. Okay, they're coming back at me. Oh, he's on a horse? What? Okay, they're basically done. Let's get over here and get these guys. Alright, here, right here. Get this clown. Get this clown right here. Mess with me, huh?
Frenzy. The curse of undeath.
Those are spearmen. Okay, let's get these guys back over here.
Isabella, see them tremble.
Whatever, yeah, we can keep these Graveguard tied up, that's fine.
Isabella von Karstein.
Did we kill their clown? Their little clown dude? I think we did.
Crush the breathers. Vampire. Die.
Oh no, there he is. What? He ran away. Alright, interesting. Their lords are very, very strong in this, from what I've noticed.
Mortals. His lady. Vampire. I'm in your throne. For my lord husband.
And get out of there. Those count as large. I do not want spears in the back with that. Get them all out of there. Okay, we got him.
Lead them. So be it.
Yeah, the Nehek really doesn't do as much as it used to, because my bats are still dying, even though I Neheked them. Yeah, I mean, it seems a lot harder than it used to be.
Moving. All life must blood frenzy. I need blood.
So we get those wraiths. We were just trying to carve through these spearmen. Alright, back it up, back it up. Where are my ghouls? Oh gosh, everything's really hurt. Jeez, my knights are taking so much heat. Yeah, this is I mean, this is pretty hard, honestly. It seems a lot harder than it used to be. Although I thought it was okay difficulty before. Where are those Graveguard? Yeah, right there. I'm not sure what all they did to upgrade the legendary experience, but it seems upgraded for sure. God, please don't lose the knights.
Your time has come. Vampire.
These Var guys seem pretty dang strong. Which is good, because that's what I'm probably going to be upgrading. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. So I think we got him. Pyrrhic victory. I still think we crushed him. What? So the first time I fought this, I mean, I lost Isabella. I did win the fight. I lost Isabella, and I almost lost a vampire, and I lost a lot of other stuff. It was very similar to this, actually, except I just microed Isabella a lot better. And their wards are tough. I mean, usually in the normal campaign, I didn't really use Spirit Leech, but they've nerfed it a lot in this on this patch, so it's not nearly as strong as it used to be. And I didn't focus out wards that much, but you have to. Like, you see their units just don't even break at all. Hardly. Like, even without, like, I killed all of their lords, and their units still do not break. And they still almost killed all of my units, and I had higher tech stuff. Well, their Grave Guard were very good. Wow. I mean, they outnumbered me like 2 to 1. Now, a lot of those are zombies, but bats are still pretty decent. I mean, these killed quite a bit. Blood Knights. Vampires are like okay. Ghouls did pretty well. Anyways, we murdered all of them. I'm honestly not even sure if it's worth sacking. I mean, I do need the money, but they will also get some of their garrison healed, I believe. If I don't occupy, so I'm just going to occupy. Okay, Aura of Supremacy. The hunger is extremely good, but Aura of Supremacy is really where you want to be. You need that leadership. Aura of Supremacy and Dark Pact. Restless Dead is good, but we're not going to be running around on the map that much right now. We want to get Restless Dead and Undying Horde, and eventually Children of the Night. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the skill tree, now that I know that I've won this battle. And hopefully I won't get wiped out in the next couple of turns. Invocation of the Heck is very powerful, however, it is a lot more. It's a lot more magic. Now, let me just pull up this tree real quick and just show you kind of what's changed. So this can apply to everybody. I think this might have been a thing before. You get a little bit more melee attack, not much, but it's very cheap. It's a great way to give everyone on your squad for 25 seconds within 40 meters. Plus 35 melee attack and speed. So it's a decent little affordable spell. This is very expensive. Now this not only heals, but it also resurrects dead units. So it's pretty good. It doesn't say how much it heals. I believe they've nerfed how much it heals, because I used it in that battle and it did heal up some. But they really want you to have a diversified package of healing. They don't want you to just spam the heck on everybody and that's just like the cure-all. They really want you to choose to build units that have healing and choose to find other ways to heal, like the Balefire Brazier and things like that, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. So there are various ways you can heal. There are also skills you can heal with. I just pointed out one of the Vampire, the Hunger. So they really want healing to be something that you have to invest in a little bit more and not just have a throwaway spell that's on all of your lords that heals everybody, which is good. I like that. It's more tactical diversity. This is still bad from what I understand. I mean, this was used in multiplayer to snipe lords, I'm not really going to be sniping that hard. I'm not going to spec into it. Just in that first battle, you know, I probably could have done it without Spirit Leech, but they've nerfed. I know specifically they nerfed Spirit Leech a lot in the base game, so I don't feel as bad for using it. It's more expensive, and it just doesn't do nearly the damage that it used to do. It just does a little bit of extra damage to a single target. Which we would have, I mean, with our 3 people ganging up on their lords, we were going to kill those guys pretty quick anyways. I think they lowered the cost on this and increased the negative melee. It's an okay spell. Now this causes poison. It apparently does a lot of damage. I've never used it. It's super expensive, like really, really expensive, so I assume it's powerful. But I just don't know. So we're probably not going to spec very far into this. We definitely want this because leadership is a real big thing. Those bats especially, we're going to be using a lot of bats. I'll show you why here in a little bit. They have really low leadership. So getting the extra 20 leadership off of this plus this, really nice. Now the Vargeist units, you saw in that last one, they were the healthiest units by far. They took virtually no damage and they were in a lot of fights. Now they only have 10 armor. What they changed about them, they've always had Frenzy. Now they have the passive regeneration, which is excellent. Resistant to Vigor. So they're not immune to Vigor. They still get tired, but it's a lot more slowly. They have some physical resistance and missile resistance. And there's only 4 of them now, you may have noticed, instead of 12. And they do more damage. So I think they used to do 100 for 12, and now they do 200 for 4, but they have a bigger charge bonus. I think more melee attack. It might be the same. They're about the same speed. So they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I like them quite a lot. However, they are a lot more expensive. They're 400 per instead of 250. So these are very expensive units. But they are very powerful. So this gives them 25 armor. Right now they only have 10 if I want to do that. So that boosts up their armor, their resilience quite a lot. And so we might end up getting this. We'll see. At dawn they sleep. Now this is actually something that's very interesting. Powerful. So fell bats get plus 10 melee defense, plus 6 armor piercing damage, and plus 10% damage on the wolves. Now, bats I used to get sometimes as just a throwaway unit, just to throw on missile, missile infantry or artillery, just in sieges or something. Just throw them on there and whatever. That was about all they did. They are quite a bit more powerful now. If we look. So they're only 95, which is very cheap. The hounds are now 110. That was one of my big gripes, is they used to cost too much. They're like 150 or something. So they lowered the cost by quite a bit. And if we look at them now, they do 30 damage. I don't remember what they used to do before, but I feel like it was way less than that. 30 damage. 48 melee defense. They're still really hard to kill. They only have 16 melee attack, but they do have Frenzy now. I'm almost positive they didn't have that before. That gives them 8 more melee attack. Now they have a base of 24 melee attack, 30 damage, 48 defense, 100 speed as usual, but extremely low leadership. This is where having that extra 20 leadership on your lord when you attack is going to help out a ton. So you would get plus 6 damage off of that, and plus 10 melee defense. That'd take you to 58 melee defense and 32 attacks. That's 32, 58. Those are huge stats, at least compared to vanilla. I don't know how they buffed, you know, the other stuff since then. 125 income, huh? What is this? Oh, that's awesome. I really, really want that, because I'm going to be using a lot of forest stuff. So anyways, that's a huge upgrade for bats, at least compared to what normal like units used to be. I don't know if they've buffed everything or what, but that seems really good compared to how they were in the base game. Now you combine this with the tech, which is why I'm going in here. Look at this. Minus 40% upkeep. 40% upkeep on bats and dire wolves. That is astronomically high. That means these units are going to cost like 60 per turn, which before didn't matter because they were garbage. But now, they've got a lot of stuff, and they get plus 20 armor off of this. 5 more melee defense, which will take them to 63 melee defense. That's the melee. That's almost the same melee defense as like the Iron Breakers for the dwarves used to be. Now they probably buffed them now, but that is a lot of melee defense. They are not getting hit in melee very often. Combine that with 20 armor and 3 extra damage. Now they're doing like 39 damage on an attack with 20 armor now, when they used to have 0, and they have like 63 melee defense for like 60, and they're really fast. That is really powerful. And then this is for armor for Vargeist, melee defense for Vargeist, and speed for Vargeist, which is awesome. Now that's going to allow them to run down things like Pistoliers if they have that, which is going to be very annoying unless the Pistoliers get the speed upgrade as well. But that right there is quite powerful. Beastmaster, Vargulf, and Vargai for much cheaper, which is nice. Bloodhounds, plus 2 for everything, which is good. So this actually has a pretty good scaling tree for all kinds of stuff that you're going to want. They've upgraded everything in the forest tree. So if you look at the forest tree, which is what I'm going to be going for here, this obviously is amazing. 3 chevrons for everything in the forest tree, which I guess is whenever you have wood somewhere. Which there's quite a bit of wood around the Empire, so that's good. So the bats are great. The hounds are still pretty good. These are fast. Weapon strength. I guess they have a little bit more. I mean, I'm starting to wonder why I would even buy these over the bats, with the bats having all those insane upgrades. I mean, the bats have way more defense. They fly, they can flank. Weapon strength 30. There's 80 in each one of these. Weapon strength 30. Weapon strength 29. These have 2% physical resistance and 5% missile resist. These have no physical, but they have 20% missile. Is that what these guys had? 5%. So they have way more missile. They have just those crazy upgrades on them. Now their melee attack is 24, so it doesn't look as good as these, but because of the frenzy, which means they attack very quickly as well, they actually do have the same melee attack. So there's really no reason to buy these wolves now that I'm thinking about it. Charge 18, charge 8. I guess they have a bigger charge bonus. These bat upgrades are insane. 36. They both have terrible leadership, no armor. They both pretty much have the same health. Now these do have vigor loss. Resistant to vigor loss. These have frenzy, so I guess maybe I just don't know why you would get the wolves. Now that I'm looking at it, after you get this bat upgrade, which is just bonkers, you have to get this anyways, I guess, because it's on the way to other things. And what's her? What about her tech tree a little bit more here? Vargeist. Because that does increase wolves, but the big one is the plus 10 melee defense for bats and the plus 6 armor piercing damage for bats. So that's going to be really sweet, I think. This is good for later if you need it in the cab. That's pretty good on Vargeist, but Vargeist are very expensive, so I can't run a lot of them. I could just run, like, legions of bats, probably, with those upgrades. And then you start getting into Vargulf upgrades. We probably won't get a lot of Vargulfs. We'll get 1 just so that we can siege easier. And then this is 12 for Terrorgeists and 12 for Terrorgeists. Vargeists and Terrorgeists. So that's really strong. Now, if you look at the other forest things while we're here, so the tier 1 is astronomically better than it used to be. This is a very expensive unit, but a good unit. I already talked about it. So this is a very good tier 2 unit, although expensive. This is our cheap squad. The Vargulfs are okay. One of the things that used to make Vargulfs a lot better is they were one of the only regenerating units that was affordable early on. It's expensive. So they're okay. They cause terror. They are physically resistant. They don't require any other... No, they do require vampire building to get. They are still on the expensive side. They have pretty low leadership. Decent armor. Okay speed. Actually, pretty good speed. But they are a siege attacker, which is important, because virtually nothing else is a siege attacker, like, in your entire roster, I'm pretty sure. Okay, your zombie dragon, flying monster you can get as a siege attacker. And that is basically it. So if you want to be able to attack turn 1, you have to have a Varghulf, pretty much. Yeah. So we'll get him, but this is the prize here, the Terrorgeist. So you can get up to plus 24 melee attack on Terrorgeist. And then they've buffed this quite a bit. So it's always been expensive. It's still expensive. But has a lot more health. It's still got the regeneration. It has this new thing which lowers their melee defense by 20, which is huge. Makes it so they can't run away. They always cause terror, and now they have 20% physical resist and 40% missile resist. This is massive, because they could just get focus fire down in the past, and now it's a lot harder to do that. And they have plus 50 against large. I don't think they had that much before. Maybe it was 30 or 40, but plus 50 is massive. That's going to give them 95, and then you get 24 from your skills off of Isabella. That's what, 119 melee attacks. They're going to be hitting on everything, probably. So they are much, much better than they used to be. So the fact that she buffs them up is pretty nice. Now, one thing that I'm excited about for the most part is that they nerfed Crypt Horrors quite a lot, which is good. Because you used to just stack Crypt Horrors, zombies, and maybe a few Graveguard, and that was it. I mean, Crypt Horrors were so good you didn't even need to run Black Knights or anything, hardly, in the campaign. It was just like 10 units of Crypt Horrors. Because they were so cheap, they used to only cost like 220. You could get an upgrade on them that would bring them down to like 190. They used to do really heavy hitting damage, massive armor piercing damage. They poisoned, they regenerated, they were really fast, they could flank. They were just like ridiculously overpowered. And they nerfed them several times in the campaign, and they've nerfed them again here. But they're still useful. They still have a place. I'm not sure exactly what lethal poison does, but ghouls have that as well. A different kind of poison. It doesn't say what it does here, but it says... yeah, okay, so weapon damage, speed, and armor piercing damage. That's different than normal. But it says they can die if they have that. I'm not sure how that works. But basically... they increased their armor, so they made them tankier. They increased their health, but they only have 8 units instead of 12 in the roster. They do a little bit more damage because of that, but it's not nearly as much piercing as it used to be, ratio-wise, and it costs a lot more. A lot more. So it's 345 instead of 210. So they balance it out that way by making it a true, like, elite unit that is more expensive, has less... less of a unit size. So I think it's in a good place, but you don't have to rush it anymore. Zombies are pretty insane. They have 15,000 health now, so they take forever to kill, and they're very resilient to missile fire, so they're even better meat shields than they used to be, which is good. Skeletons are okay. They have a ton of health. Basically the same stat-wise, basically the same cost. So these are your good meat shield units. These are almost the same. They don't have as much meat shield about them, but they're a lot more combat effective, and they have a lot more versatility than these things do. Graveguard are a lot better than they used to be. They have a ton of health. They're only 210, which I believe is what they cost before. But they have a lot more armor piercing, 22 pierce, and overall are just pretty strong. They have some physical resistance, not a lot. Pretty good missile resistance. They don't have the silver shield anymore, though, to compensate for that. So overall, I think an increase. They're definitely better. The great swords, you get a lot more attack damage for less melee defense and a little bit more armor piercing, so that's good. The barded Black Knights aren't as dominant as they used to be. They're still really good, but they lowered the charge bonus quite a bit, from 80 down to 62. They do armor piercing damage now, which is nice. They have good melee attack, and they have a bit more armor. So you basically get 20 more armor and 20 more charge bonus and a little bit more melee attack. And you get a bonus. Now these have a bonus against infantry. These do not have the bonus, but they have more damage and more charge bonus and such. So I think they balance it out to where normal Black Knights are certainly a little bit better, and the barded are not as good as they used to be. So that's good. The rates, I think, the hex rates are still pretty garbage. They're very expensive. They did increase their stats a little bit, 85% resilience and stuff, but they're just way too expensive. They just don't do enough. Karen rates are kind of the same. they can stalk. They have superhuman vigor. They don't cause terror anymore, actually, which is a huge hit. They do some okay damage, but their health is just so low. It's just so easy to kill them. I don't think so. I wouldn't run them. They're probably not worth it. White King he's okay. The corpse card is good, but you have to have the Necromancer building to get to those. That gives you mass regeneration. They are on the expensive side for what they are, because a lot of these units will have regen. Like all 3 of these units in the forest tree have regen, and I don't care if these die, because I can just make more. So that's okay. It's alright, but since they gave out regeneration to a lot more units, just natural regeneration, then they don't need the quartz cart regeneration as much as they used to. And Necros are good, but vampires are unequivocally way better, especially with Isabella. You just get such a huge boost to them, and this is what lets you hire so many good things, right? Like, it lets you hire the Vargulf and the Terror guys and build up to get to the Blood Knights, which are still one of your best units in your roster. They're very expensive, but they're just insane now. Like, you get crazy replenishment and physical resistance. I still think they're very good. And now, finally, they don't have as crazy of a bonus versus large, but their weapon strength is still through the roof. They have magical attacks, and now they do piercing damage, and they have silver shields. So they are actually good against other large units. They're good against basically everything now, except for spears. That's really good. Now, I don't know these Blood Dragon guys. This is a new unit that they just added. They look like really top-end melee fighters. There's 12 of them in a stack. They get bonus versus infantry. They have pretty heavy damage. They regenerate a lot. Frenzied. Disciplined, so they don't run. Resistant to vigor. So they're just like your top-end, like, crack tier infantry, which seem really quite powerful. So we'll see how that works out. There aren't a lot of skills or anything to upgrade them. And the Black Coach is something that it seems like they upgrade quite a lot, which I'm happy about, because it really got outclassed by the Blood Knights in the vanilla campaign. So yeah, you get some pretty crazy resistances there that you can use. Immune to Psychology, Strider, so it doesn't get tired. It's immune to Vigor, so you can constantly keep charging, never run out of stuff. Causes Terror. It's way cheaper than the Knights now. The Knights are like $735 or something. These are only $481, so that's way cheaper. Insane charge bonus. They get a 100 charge bonus. They do some serious damage. They get a bonus versus infantry, 24, so they can actually stick in combat and fight. So I think that's really good. That actually makes it much better. So overall, I think the strategy is going to be... that gives money and growth. Yeah, we definitely need to go ahead and upgrade that. I think how much they're going to break us. We can do it. We can afford that. I think the overall strategy is going to be run up the forest tree, and we can just summon zombies and skeleton warriors, at least with Isabella. With Vlad, we might get some Graveguard in there. We'll see. But I think we want to go up this forest tree, try to get to Terror guys, and use a couple of our guys. That's really expensive units compared to these. But I think the bats and the hounds, especially the bats, are really going to be worth it. This looks pretty garbage to me right now. Like, that is just too expensive for what it does. It really can't fight. It's just a buff. These are okay. You know, not a lot more to say than that. I mean, they're alright. These have been nerfed quite a lot. They're okay. Banshees are alright. This stuff is pretty much garbage tier until maybe really late in the game. So this is pretty much out, I think, as something to rush. You can rush this and go for Graveguard, but they're very slow. It's really hard to use them tactically. There's not a lot of diversity. I mean, everything here is just Graveguard, really slow infantry, and then this is your cavalry. Here you have a lot more diversity. You have flanking fast infantry. You've got your monstrous infantry, and you've got your doorbuster, your only siege attacker unit, and your thing that's really good against cav. So I really like these units a lot more, even though they're more expensive. We'll just run less of them, more bats and zombies and just play around it that way instead of like legions of Graveguard. Okay, so we'll go ahead and upgrade that. Logs, I mean it's 125 gold per turn, which is alright. I'm not gonna be able to trade those logs. Do I want to go for growth? I do want to get to Dark Lair like ASAP. But I do need money too, because I'm very broke. We'll go for this first, and then we'll go for growth after. How much growth? We only have 30 growth. And we could deploy a vampire here and get a lot more growth if we want to. Okay, let's go ahead and upgrade her. Sorry, just giving you the rundown. I like to do that in the first episode. To let people kind of know what's going on. Okay, for Oversire, definitely going down. We can hire Vlad anytime we want, but we can't really afford another army right now. We'll get him here in a little bit. He's very expensive. Oh, no, upgraded twice? Okay. Dark Pact. We really, really need that leadership, especially for the bats. We don't need both of these vampires in there. Let's go ahead and just deploy one. Move over here just so I can see sort of what's going on. Deploy one for a little more growth. I mean, we could get rid of this and just... 125 is good, but 20 growth is so nice for upgrading. Well, we can't really afford that money-wise anyway, so I guess there's no rush. Okay, that's fine. What do they have here? Ooh, we actually have some decent... Wow, what? Really? Yeah, things have way better garrisons than they used to. Okay. So what all do they have? Really, they have Graveguard? Jesus. 8, 9, 10. Well, here I said I may not need this vampire, and I might just need that vampire. Let's not skimp on it. I mean, maybe I did need that. I just assumed it's going to be a garbage.
All shall perish. Kill them.
Garbage fight here. I think we'll crush them. We'll go ahead and fight it out. We'll fight it out. They might do a lot better than it seems. They do have some pretty good stuff over there. Maybe I should have kept that vampire here. I should have fought with the... Well, no, because I'm going to take the town. I guess I could fight with the vampire, sack, take the vampire out, deploy, and then take the town. That's probably what I should have done. We're going to handle it. It's really low. Which one? Okay, so I've got the shadow one. It's alright.
Isabella.
Let's speed this up a little bit. It's pretty scary stuff, man. I mean, they've got 3 ghouls. Graveguard, skeleton warriors, I mean... Oops, I didn't bring my knights in here. That's could be bad.
Before me.
Guys, let's go. Come on. Oh, he's trying to run. Okay, interesting.
It is the countess.
Okay, that's actually pretty smart of them to try to get out of that. Not just let me gang up on him. I do not want to fight them in this game.
I am pleased. Excellent, my son.
Let's go, Chief. You got a little sun, dear.
Oh, look, camera intended.
Yay.
All will be ours. Vampire, quickly.
Say.
As inevitable as death. Night.
Let's try to crush this over here. Get them to start fleeing. Work that flank. Okay, let's see if we can get this over here. Where's my main? Hey, get in here. What are we doing here?
For Isabella, I will do this.
These controls seem kind of unresponsive, or a little bit more so than they used to be. Maybe I'm just, like, I don't know. I've been playing quite a bit lately, but I don't think I'm that rusty. Get these knights out of here. And charge these guys in the back a little bit. Yeah, a lot of my stuff's kind of starting to fade a little bit.
Vampire, I am immortal.
Guys, get in there. Jesus, come on. Look at this clown running.
Isabella von Carstein.
You know, I need to get over here and just make sure these knights get in here for a, I think he's running, right? Just kill him. Don't let him run out of there.
We are immortal. Death is living. Good. His lady. Isabella von Carstein.
Damn, that spell didn't really hurt him at all.
My thanks, Roshan.
Okay, we got him.
Vampire, queen of death. Vampire. Leave them.
You know, my zombies are definitely taking some heat. Oh, my knights died. Oh. Not good.
Frenzy. All life must very well. Quickly.
Guys, can we attack? Like, what? Come on. Sometimes I just feel like the dudes just do not move nearly as well as they used to. Maybe... I don't know. I keep thinking maybe I'm rusty, but at the same time, I've been playing quite a bit of, like, the normal campaign. I need these guys out of here. Or those are skeleton warriors. Yeah, those guys are about ready to crack.
Noble of the night. Sylvania rules the night.
I'm gonna come over here and like hit these things in the back.
Isabella von Carstein.
Yeah, these fights are definitely a lot tougher than they used to be, I think. Pretty sweet, I like that. I'm looking forward to a challenging campaign. I don't know what they've done with the other factions, but... this vampire on vampire is definitely pretty tough. I lost my Black Knights, which kind of sucks, but... these bar guys are definitely overperforming. Like, these things are sweet. They are expensive, but they feel very powerful and useful now. Before they were kind of a joke. Like, they were alright, but they just died so easily. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one for sure. Oh, my knights escaped with like a little bit? Okay, that's actually pretty good. Just occupy. Alright, what do we get? Casualty replenishment, +1 recruits, 25 growth. Oh. Okay, so yeah, they changed all of these around too. That's pretty cool. Research rate +15%, +4 public. Okay, public order doesn't matter. But the research rate is nice. I mean, this stuff's pretty fast though. Do we need to recruit?
Descendant of Bathory.
So we could hire some stuff. Now keep in mind with this like recruitment cost, that does not include raised dead. That's only strictly if you recruit them. It's not gonna matter too much. We get a ton of regeneration in here. We just go ahead and hire more bats. These do take 2 turns, and they're super expensive. We can't really afford more than 2 of those right now. $63. The bats are expensive compared to zombies right now. I need to hire something. I just need meat shields, though. Honestly, I don't really care about these. Like just more zombies, I think is fine. The bats are alright. Hounds are okay. We're not gonna get the bat upgrades for a little bit though. I think just going zombies is probably fine. Okay, so what all do we want here? In terms of this. I don't care about recruitment just yet. Tax rate doesn't matter right now. Okay, so conquest penalty is 20 now instead of 10. I didn't even sack anything. Okay, so they've changed around the public order a lot. So now the public order, the difficulty for being on legendary is only 4. But there's a bigger conquest penalty. So in some ways the public order is easier, in some ways it's not. Growth. I think just the growth one, right? Plus 25 growth. Let's do vampire corruption. I think that's what I want. Tax rate 6% would only be like 50. I think let's go for growth right now. I mean, I guess I kind of do want to hire zombies, even though I was just trash talking it. What can I hire for? 0%. Yeah, I can't get the money building yet. Could get the growth. Now is this worth upgrading? 150? I mean, it's gonna be 22 turns before it pays for itself. 50 up? I don't think so. Okay, so we'll keep that for now. Hire at least 2 more zombies. Probably 1 more after that. Okay. Got that going for us. Okay, so we completed this one. He's over here hiring, so that's going to be rough. Now we could try to get the moot. We got to keep this train rolling. I mean, I guess we could just go over here and knock out Eschen. Get those next couple of things. Then we could maybe hire, like Vlad or something. I kind of feel like I need to take out the moot. Is this a good... I'm not sure if this is a good anti-human army or not. I feel like once I get those bat upgrades, maybe. These would be so great for like flanking into spearmen. Okay, either way, that's sufficient for now. We'll hold off on the other upgrades. Oh. Okay, we're going for level 2 there. Okay. And it should be good. Definitely want level 2 everywhere. Okay, the hunger's much higher for her. Alright, fair enough. Expansionist is very nice. I think Expansionist Restorer. Mortal Will is very good. So she doesn't have any kind of charge bonus. So these all kind of suck, being honest. Melee defense is okay. Like, Restorer is amazing. Expander is amazing, and Provider is amazing. Accuser is kind of whatever. Bastion. Push it. So we just go for expansionist. Wait, didn't I just upgrade her? Or am I crazy? Wait, do you get 2 skill points per level in this? Yeah, she's only level 2 and I have 2 skill points. Oh man. For real? That's gonna give me 2. That's gonna give me like every skill in the books. That means there's basically no choices. I hope that's not what's going on here. The fights seem really good. The fights are a lot harder now. I just don't know why I'm getting so many skill points.
Expand Sylvania's borders.
Because I want difficulty. I will go on time. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll call it after this turn.
Countess of Sylvania.
I think I gotta go for the other vampire stuff.
Let us
Dang, Waldemorph has some serious... Okay, I mean, like, this stuff is way harder. He has gates. Yeah, the garrisons are way, way harder than they used to be.
join me for dinner.
Can I afford one more of these? Sorry if you can hear my daughter in the other room. She's freaking out about something. Damn, I'm just trying to think how I'd beat them. It's pretty extreme. I mean, Eschen is doable. Castle Drakenhof's gonna be rough as heck. I'm trying to think if I want to... Well, that's 2 turns to hire it for that. I'm not sure if I can beat that. I mean, they don't have anything right now, but 16 units, like including 4 Grave Guard, a White King. Dang. Heard rebellions are a lot crazier in this too. Not sure if I can beat that. Anyways, let's go ahead and deploy her because she has the special growth thing.
Light! I will sire the word. Descendant of Bathory. You dare! So be it. Isabella von Karstein.
Okay, well I need to hire something. I mean, do I really just wait for this? Those are unequivocally the most powerful thing I can be doing right now. I mean, I guess if the enemy gets 2 skill points also every time, then it's fair. Everybody just gets a lot more skill points. I guess that's cool. So we can try some wolves. How much physical resistance do the wolves have? 2. We don't have the bat upgrades yet, though. How long until the bats? Right here. And we're probably not get them on Isabella for another 2 levels. If we get 2 per level, we gotta get Dark Pact, and then we can go for that. We've got enough zombies. We need a bit more oomph. Whether I have 3 wolves or one of these bar guys. I guess I'll just go.
I assent.
2 wolves and a bat. I mean, we could have also gone for the moot, but this is just so easy to take because it's already fully vampiric. We don't have to wait on it or deal with rebellions, which are supposed to be a lot harder. And that's going to be it. The next turn we'll take Eshin. Once he takes Eshin, which is going to be annoying. He's going in ambush mode. Oh, interesting. So they're going for Essen. I supposedly improved the AI quite a bit. For Skull Takers? What? We can hit Walden right now while he's not there. I think we need to take Eshin. That's the easy one before Vlad takes it, or before Manfred takes it. Then Manfred might go for Waldemar, we'll see. Anyways, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it. This is definitely very interesting, a little bit more challenging. Definitely going to be a different experience playing through this. So stick with me. Let's see how it goes. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.